everybody and welcome back to Gaming on Caffeine. My name is Isaac and we are back playing some Feed the Beast Departed for episode 3. And my gosh, is Advent of Ascension like the world's biggest mod. So again, apologies, it's been like quite a few days since the end of last episode, and I've spent like a ton of time on the wiki for Advent of Ascension just finding out how much stuff there is in this mod and by extension in this mod pack. And I've also done a ton of mining. If we go ahead and take a look in our little ores chest, we have a ton of new ingots, quite a few of which are from Advent of Ascension, including a limonite, amethyst, jade, and we also got a little bit of sapphire, which is, I believe, the rarest of the overworld ores. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't mine this with my normal iron pickaxe that we made last episode, so I did have to go ahead and make a diamond pickaxe in order to get this up and running. I didn't really want to spend my diamonds on doing it, but thankfully, during my like 3-hour strip mine event, I found like a couple more diamonds. We now have 11 in total, which is pretty nice. And we also got quite a few upgrades to our iron pickaxe because we used it so much for strip mining that it's now got haste and reinforced 2 as well, which is pretty nice. It goes a little bit faster and it also lasts a little bit longer. It looks a little bit cooler. It's got a little red and purple section going on at the top there, but right down at the bottom we did a bit of strip mining. As I said before, sapphire is the rarest, and I believe it's only found below level 6, so I did a bunch of strip mining down below level 6 and found just like a ton of strip mines down there already from other people on the server who had done the exact same thing. It was pretty funny. But anyway, the first thing that I want to do today, or should I say what I want to start doing now, is I want to start working on getting into Advent of Ascension. I want to start progressing, and what I want to start working towards now is the first boss fight. There are a bunch of boss fights. I have no idea how many. There's a ton of boss fights in Advent of Ascension, and the first one, or one of the first ones, one of the only overworld bosses that are not in another dimension, is the Smash boss fight. Now, the way you spawn in Smash is using a troll doll. That's this guy over here, the troll idol, and the troll idol is made with 2 sticks, 4 rammerhead hide, 1 desert shell, and 1 moon dust, which sounds just completely random, but these things are got by killing enemies. I'm killing enemies and these drop them. Now, at that point, I was like, okay, I'll go fight a rammerhead and I'll get some rammerhead hide. No, you can't do that. In order to get the rammerhead hide, you have to kill a rammerhead, but you can't kill a rammerhead, and that's just me knocking stuff over next to my desk there, but you can't kill a rammerhead until you become a level 12 hunter, and I was like, what the heck is a level 12 hunter? At which point, I realized there were skills. Now, before you can access skills, for some reason, Feed the Beast decided to bind it to the C button, which is also bound to the crafting grid. So if you press C whilst looking at the floor, it makes a little crafting grid that you can then use to make anything you want, like this. If you press C again, it's going to make me a furnace, which is pretty handy, but it also means that you can't access your skills by pressing C. So what you have to do instead is go Options, Controls, All, and then somewhere down here, there is a Skills button. Now, I can't remember exactly where it is. I rebound mine to the grave key, which is the one just below escape. So basically now when I press it, I get these in the top right-hand corner. So it turns out there's a bunch of skills that you can level up in this game, and by leveling them up, you get a bunch of different stuff. You'll see that our mining one, kind of in the middle there with the yellow pickaxe, is pretty high because we've done a ton of mining, and I believe the higher we level that up, the more likely we are to get those little drops every time we mine stuff. We also have a ton of cobblestone now, by the way. But what we have to do is we have to level up our hunter, which is the one right on the end there, the little red and green swords kind of overlapped. We have to be a level 12 hunter before we can kill the hammerheads? Rammerheads? Whatever they're called. We have to be a level 12 hunter before we can kill the rammerheads. So, in order to level that up, basically what we have to do is around the world, there will be a bunch of mobs that have that little icon above the head with the red and green sword, and when you kill them, you get a little bit of experience for your hunter level. There are a couple that you can kill at level 0. I'm not 100% sure which ones those are, so we're kind of just going to run around and start attacking stuff and see if we can kill it if it has that little symbol above its head. If not, we'll just run. But before we do that, we need to get armored up. So, between episodes, I made some iron armor. This was just so that whilst I was down in the caves, I didn't get my ass handed to me by every single mob down there. There's like a bunch of hostile mobs. There's even some invisible mobs down in the mines, which were really scary. But basically, what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start with a sword, which you'll see in here we have a bunch of casts as well for. So we're going to start with a sword. I was tempted to make a sapphire sword, because if we go ahead and type in sapphire over here, and we look at the damage that a sapphire broadsword does, it does 17 attack damage. Whereas if we go ahead and look at the limonite sword, which is probably the one we're going to make. Actually, let's have a look. Can you make a jade broadsword? Oh, you can. We might make a jade broadsword. A jade broadsword does 14 attack damage, and a limonite broadsword does 10. But the reason I'm not going for sapphire is that we need the sapphire in order to make the armor that we're going to use. So, and I also made this, by the way, the casting base, and most of you probably know what this is already, but you can basically just make apparently nothing with it. You can make blocks of ingots usually, but it looks like the Advent of Ascension ingots don't come in block form. But I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll make ourselves the, we'll make a jaded sword. So for that, we're only going to need, I think, that uses, oh, we don't need that. We need one for that. That's one material cost, 0.5 and 0.5. So we only need 2 ingots worth. So really, we can just put 1 in there, and that should be fine. We'll then go ahead and we'll make our armor. And the armor that we're going to make, if we go ahead and type in, I think it's ALAC. I can't pronounce this. It's Alacrity? Alacrity armor, this stuff over here, grants massively increased jump height, 825 uses remaining, and basically that's what it does. It grants a massive boost in jump height, and also gives you fall damage protection, which means that when you land on the floor, you don't get killed instantly. And when we come to fight Smash, the first boss that we're going to fight, you will see exactly why I've done that, because that guy throws you in the air more times than like any other boss I've ever seen, ever. So yeah, I'm hoping that these don't go ahead and mix in and make any alloys. I don't think they will. I don't think there are any Advent of Ascension alloys, but that's why I'm trying to pull this limonite out as quickly as I can. Also, we do need this limonite for the armor that we're going to make here. It's made using limonite ingots and sapphire ingots. I think we need 10 sapphire ingots in total, which is why I just made 10. So, well, I made 8 in there. We got 2 here. So, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go away. I'm going to pull all of these ingots out really slowly. I'll be back in a second. And a little while later, we can now go ahead and make ourselves a full set of what I'm going to go ahead and call bouncy armor, because I have no idea how I'm supposed to pronounce that word. But we can get the leg plates, and we can get ourselves the boots if we take these 2. Got a little bit worried there that we weren't going to be able to make it, but we can go ahead and do this. Boom. And if we throw this on, we should... Oh, yeah. Look at that. Boom. Oh, my goodness. That was an attack from... Oh, jeez. This guy over here. That guy down there. And you also notice it filled up all of our armor slots right there. I don't think it's the most powerful armor, but it's pretty good. And it seems to be better than iron armor, so I'm happy with it. And finally, the last thing we need to do here is just go ahead and make all of these parts so we can go ahead and get ourselves that jaded sword. At which point, we're going to go and start just heading around and trying to find some bosses, some enemies that we can kill that are going to level up our hunter skill. I did go ahead and make some more Botania flowers between episodes. If we look out here, I made a couple more day blooms. These are all working quite nicely. And, oh, this guy is all up in my face, but because of my awesome jump skills, I can get away from him fairly easily. We also don't take any fall damage, which is pretty nice. And then we can go ahead and do something like this. Nice. That gets to that broadsword. Let's see how fast can we kill this little guy here. It's going to give us that horrible stats effect again, but it's pretty good. Look at that. This guy's a 3-hit kill. That was pretty nice. Our health is not great. I did get some more food sources since the end of last episode. We got some carrots, potatoes, peanuts, coffee beans, grapes, etc., etc. We're not going to use those just yet. Actually, I might use like 1 of them, but we definitely need to keep 1 so we can get a nice set of farms going and so that we don't spend like the next bazillion years trying to find food again. But I will take all of this. I did quite a bit of wheat harvesting as well between episodes because, of course, every single one of those day blooms required a wheat seed. So we'll take this. I don't know how well we're doing on food right now. I don't know if we can... How are these guys against... How's the jaded sword against these guys? Oh, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's 2-hit kill. I'm feeling a bit better now. And up until now, I've been using like my shovel to kill stuff, and it's been like a 15-hit kill. This makes me feel a little bit better about our current situation. Let's have a look at bread here real quick. How are we doing on this? Not eaten recently. I will take it. Let's take some bread and let's eat it. Now, before we head out, I'm going to go ahead and just dump all of my stuff that I don't need away, because these chests are actually pretty full. Actually, no, before we do this, I do want to work on the base just a little bit. I would like to get some barrels going to start with. You'll see I use my lumber axe quite a bit. I got quite a lot of wood. And one thing I would like to do to start with here is just get an absolute butt ton. Well, I would like to get a few barrels going to start with here. So I think we need some slabs like so. I thought I got both of those. Okay. Not what I meant to do. But we'll do that. We'll get ourselves a couple of slabs. And if we do something like this, we get a jabber barrel. Nice. And we'll just go ahead and for now, we'll stick those down like here. And basically what these do is these allow us to go ahead and just store massive amounts of any item we want, up to 64 stacks of any particular item all at once. You can see that now we have 10 stacks of cobblestone in there. I'm just going to do this with all of our cobblestone. I'll probably also do it with all of our dirt, because we do have quite a bit of dirt as well. And I think maybe even wood would probably be a good idea. This is where we can make use of our little on-ground crafting table. And just do something like this. It's C, by the way. I think I mentioned that earlier. Put those in all the slots. Press C again. And it crafts. Nice. It's just a nice, easy way of crafting when you're out and about. Stick that in the middle. Boom. Nice. We can upgrade these later on to hold more stuff and do other cool things. But for now, we'll just do this. And we'll stick all of those in there. And eventually, we'll probably make it so that most of our stuff, like redstone especially as well, most of our stuff goes into there. But for now, let's dump all of that in there. I'm even going to dump that and the seeds. I'm going to keep a hold of my sword, wherever the heck I just put that, which was in that chest there. Don't know why I put it there, but I'm going to put everything away apart from... Actually, I'm going to put everything away apart from my sword. My sword and my armor are all I'm going to take with me, so if we do die, the only things we're going to lose are our sword and our armor, which we can get back eventually, although the jades, the sapphires are pretty hard to come by. But I'm going to go away, guys. I'm going to try and find any enemy I can that has that little red and green sword cross icon above the head, and I'll be back. I guess later on down the line. Hopefully we'll get to level 12 and be able to fight those rammerheads, but I'll be back in a second. Okay, so a little while later, having found that there are not that many mobs, surprisingly, that have that little hunter combat symbol above them, and I found like 5 in total. Would you just get out of here? Would you just get out of here? There we go. I found like 5 in total of it, and each one gave me like a quarter of a level's worth of experience towards getting to level 2. So I was like, forget it. I'll probably look into it between episodes, and we will fight Smash, hopefully next episode. That is my plan, anyway. So I'll find out between now and next episode. I know Meaty's already done it, so I'll find out how he did it, if he just went through it and did the grind, or if there's some faster way of doing it. But for today, what I would like to do is go ahead and try and automate the smeltery over here a little bit, maybe get some enchantments going, and maybe even set up a little bit of a nether portal. So the first thing I would like to do is automate this thing over here. So in order to do that, we're going to need a couple of things. First of all is our pickaxe. I also made a couple more barrels as well, and filled up that little wall over there. So my plan here is to have a hopper go underneath... Oh, I thought there was something there then. Have a hopper go underneath this little guy, this casting table, and that bounce is actually probably going to get pretty annoying really quickly. But that's my plan anyway. We're going to put a little hopper there and have it go into a chest. So let's do that. We should have a ton of iron in this guy. We do. I'll also go ahead and probably build a new base between episodes, guys. We're not going to stay in here. I would like to get a new one between next episode. It might not get done. It might be the episode after, but it will be soon. Don't worry. So let's do that. Let's get another little chest going just underneath. What we'll probably have here is like a chest there for ores and stuff, and then a chest here for the finished ingots. I'll put that down like that. Shift right click to make it go towards the chest. And now, if we replace that with the ingot cast, what we should be able to do is if we grab, say, is there anything in there? Oh, there is. Okay, so if we were to get the iron there, that one single ingot of iron, and just right click, it should go into there, and then when it solidifies, it should move down and into the chest. Nice. So that's slightly automated. It's not as automated as I'd like, because right now we still have to right click on the seared faucet. Now, in order to fix that, we are going to make ourselves some translocators, which it's actually a mod I've never played with before, but it looks really cool. So to make an item translocator, we actually need 4 diamonds, four redstone, 2 limonite ingots, 1 gold ingot, 1 piston, and 1 mana diamond. So we are going to have to get a little bit further into the realm of Botania, and the way that we get ourselves a mana diamond is by dropping a diamond into a pool of mana. Now, I don't think we can do it in this diluted mana pool that we have over here. No. What we have to do instead is we have to make a normal size mana pool and get enough mana into that we can then go ahead and make a mana diamond. So in order to make a normal sized mana pool, well, a normal size, the same size. In order to make a normal mana pool, we take a diluted mana pool and throw it into a diluted mana pool that has mana. and we get a normal mana pool. Nice. So, what I will do is, how expensive are sparks? I think sparks are probably too expensive for us. So we require blaze powder, which I'm not really a huge fan of. What we could probably do here, because I think this does have a lot of mana in it, and I don't want to waste that mana, so I think we could do something like this, especially during the evening whilst nothing's being generated by these day blooms. We should probably also make some night shades, by the way, which are exactly the same as day blooms, but they work at night. If we do that, that should start to move the mana from here over to here. And I don't think we actually need that much mana in order to actually get a mana diamond. So I'll come back to that in just a second. While that's doing that, let's work on the rest of the stuff. I think we have pretty much everything else. Translocator. We want the liquid translocator. We don't have a piston, but that should be fairly easy to do. Let's get some wood. Let's get some cobblestone. And a little bit of redstone. There's a lot of redstone down in the mines, like a surprising amount of redstone. There aren't many ores down there. There's like all the Age of Ascension stuff, and then like iron and gold, and that's about it. But there's a lot of redstone. We also need 4 limonite ingots. We have 5. We need some lapis, and I think that's about it. Yeah, so we're gonna go boom, 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 boom. You in the middle. You can go there. You can go either side. Is the mana pool ready for a mana diamond? If it's not, the next thing we need to work on is lava, because right now our lava situation is not the best. Right now we have a little bit of lava in here. We actually have 720 millibuckets, which is just shy of an actual bucket's worth. And in order to get this thing actually automated, in order to have it go for any length of time, we're gonna have to have a nice reserve of lava. So the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna be a little bit sneaky, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use the BuildCraft mod to make ourselves a tank, and then we're just gonna have the stuff from the tank. We'll probably make a second liquid translocator to move the liquid from the tank and into the little, I guess, other tank that is down here. That way we can just get a nice little backlog of lava going, so that the smelter can run for at least a little while whilst everything else is going on. That's still not working. Alright, what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to wait for this glass to smelt, because we need 8 glass to make a tank, and I'm also going to wait for enough mana to go into this mana pool. Is this one empty? Not quite. I'm going to wait for enough mana to go into this mana pool that we can make another diamond, and in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mine some obsidian, which is all the way down by that little icon that says lava. I'll be back in a second. Alright, so quite a while later again, and it turns out that we have nowhere near enough mana to make a mana diamond. If I go ahead and press U on the mana so we can find out what it can be used for, you can see on this little, like, arbitrary line here, we need about this much mana out of this much mana to turn a normal diamond into a mana diamond. And if we right-click without one of the forest, you can see that we don't have anywhere near that much mana. So, what I've decided to do instead is try and make some more mana producing flowers. They're a little bit better than the day blooms, and the ones we're going to go for to start with are the hydrangeas. These are made using 2 blue petals, one of which is a mana petal, 3 cyan petals, one of them being a mana petal, and then a pink petal as well. So let's go ourselves blue, cyan, and I just went to get some more pink because we didn't have any. And let's see here. Let's say we wanted to make, I'd like to make 4 if at all possible. And that would require, what, 8? And then 12 of those. Do we have enough? We don't. So we should be able to make 2 or 3. I'm going to turn all of these into petals just because. Let's shoot for 3 then instead. That's going to mean we need 9 of those. I don't know why I did it that way. We need 6 of those. So we can do that, and then we only need 3 of those. Now, 3 of these have to be mana petals. These are made by just throwing them into the mana pool. These use tiny amounts of mana, so we should be able to make all of these. Oh, we can't! No! Oh, I thought we had enough mana for that. We have, like, next to no mana. That is actually horrible. That's fine. We can make at least 1 and kind of show a proof of concept, I guess. So let's go ahead and throw a bucket of water into here. And my gosh, that jump is so annoying. Let's do the bucket of water, and then let's go 1 of you, 1 of you, 2 of you, 1 of you, and 1 of you, along with a generic vanilla Minecraft seed. Actually, I think any seed works, but we'll do this as well. Boom. Ta-da! And that gets the hydrangea. And you may notice from this little pool of water over here, or you may have guessed, that the hydrangea basically makes mana by using water. And basically what it does is anywhere within a 3x3 radius of the flower, we're going to stick it down right here, it's going to go ahead and use up a block of water to make mana. So if we throw this down here, it should suck up this block of water eventually, and it should make some mana. And when it does, I think it does have to be on level like this. I don't think it has to be 1 up. I think it has to be on the same level as the water, although I could be wrong about that. Maybe put it there? No, I was pretty sure it had to be on the same level as the water. That should be working. Let's do a quick check here. We probably shouldn't be doing this out in the middle of the night. It says, whilst passive mana generation can be easily achieved through day blooms, different means of doing it might be more handy. The hydrangeas will suck up any still water in a 3x3 area around it on the same height, creating mana for it. They also seem to function faster during rain. Who'd have thought? So this is like the little 3x3 area around it. The idea here is that this is part of an unlimited water source over here. So every time it sucks up this little block of still water, it should then go ahead and automatically regenerate that block of still water and just be able to keep going forever and ever and ever. But unless it's going really fast and I just can't see it, like going really fast into the mana spreader, which it might be, although I highly doubt it is. If we go to, are we in bind mode here? Bind mode. Let's see. If we bind that to that, is that doing anything? Oh, we're getting a fair bit of mana over there. Yeah, that's definitely working. It's definitely nighttime. The day blooms are definitely... Why are you full of power? The day blooms are definitely not producing any power. By the way, all I did there was go ahead and bind the day bloom to the mana spreader. Usually you don't have to do that, but sometimes it does help to do it anyway. And this is still getting mana. The little mana bar there is still going up every so often. So I assume this is working. Let's see here. Do we have what it takes to make 2 more of those? We almost do. Almost. So we can go ahead and make another one of these. I'm hoping that they'll be able to reach the spreader still from quite far away, because the other corner of that pool of water is kind of far away. We'll throw one of you in, one of you, 2 of you, and then of course the pink petal, along with another seed. That should get us another hydrangea. Nice. Alright, I would like to be able to get at least these translocators up and running. Let's put this one here. And again, we'll see if this one works. That one's gaining a lot of mana really quickly. So I guess they've changed it now so that when this happens, it doesn't like just fill up and it doesn't like just flicker the water. It just kind of takes it constantly. Let's see if we can attach you to you. Is that too far away? Oh, it looks like it is. It looks like it might be just too far away. Let me try moving that. I think we did lose a little bit of mana there, but let's try putting that down there. Yeah, that one seems to be working a bit better. That seems to be getting quite a bit more mana. That should fill up eventually, and hopefully by the end of today's episode, we'll be able to make a translocator and show you how this works. But while that's doing that, our glass now should be done. Let's take you and do something. Actually, let's leave that in there for now. I made another crafting station just so we can do more than one thing at once, because multitasking is fun. Let's make some tanks from BiblioCraft. Each of these can hold 8 buckets worth of any liquid you like. For now, oh, there's a tree monster over there. I'm going to not land in the lava. I'm going to instead put this right about here. And I'm going to fill this up with lava. Any liquid you put in here should automatically fall through to the bottom. It kind of forms one multi-block. And we're going to have a little translocator going there to move the lava from this tank into there. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to go to sleep for one, because although the hydrangeas are doing a pretty good job, I would also like the help of the day blooms. But what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to go away, I'm going to fill that tank up with lava. I'm going to wait for that mana pool over there to fill up with enough mana to get a mana diamond. I'm also going to kill this guy, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so a really long time later, and we finally have enough mana inside this mana pool. It looks like there's actually not that much in there, but I think that this little graphic here that shows you how much you need is a little bit off. But if we go ahead and drop it, oh yeah, look at that, we get ourselves a mana diamond. So we should be able to do this. Nice, that gets us 2 liquid translocators. And my big idea for this, or basically the only reason we made these, or one of the only reasons, is so we can put one here, and that should, I think, begin to transfer liquids. Now, oh wow, other way. Oh, I see. Look at that. Look at that. It's dropping out all of the liquid. It's pulling out the molten aluminium brass there. So basically, the smelter can still only smelt really one thing at a time without creating too many alloys. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab like a bunch of limonite, throw as much limonite in there as we can. And you'll notice I also made it a bit taller since the end of last episode. But basically throwing all that limonite in there, it'll all turn into molten limonite. And this thing will just slowly pull it all out and stick it into this chest here. And it basically just nicely automates the system so that we... oh, geez, let's get out of his range. So that this guy is strong, he's a brute. aptly named, so that we don't have to worry about going there and doing it manually. And finally, if we do the same over here, we have 10,000 millibuckets of lava. I got these wrong. I said they held 8,000 millibuckets a piece. They don't. They hold 16,000 a piece. But if we put one there, and have that one go in, it's going to go ahead, and that's quite a little cool little animation there. It's just going to go ahead and fill that thing up, which is pretty cool. It means for a little while, we're going to be able to just sit back. This is just going to automatically do all of our smelting and ingot crafting for us, which is pretty nice. I'll probably do like iron after this, because we always need iron. But for now, guys, I'm going to end today's episode there. Next episode, we'll come back. I would like to fight Smash next episode if I can figure out how to get my hunter level up. If you don't, tell me down in the comment section below. I would also like to get some enchanting going, so we can start to enchant some of our armor and some of our weapons. I did get the obsidian, so we have enough now to make a nether portal and make an enchanting table. The nether is a very scary place indeed. But for now, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.